Good morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, man killed in Barrington crash was arrested on DUI charge night before. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
Out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
A deadly crash on Route 202 in Barrington is under investigation. The person killed was driving the black truck. He's been identified as 49-year-old Joseph Fiorito of Ossipee. Police say he had just been pulled over and arrested yesterday evening after Barrington police were notified that an erratic driver in Lee was headed their way on Route 125.
During the traffic stop, the officers were able to see signs of impairment, and they were able to develop probable cause and make an arrest for DUI, driving under the influence.
Police say Fiorito appeared to be under the influence of drugs. He was released on personal recognizance bail.
We learned today through investigation that he went to the impound lot and picked up his pickup truck at around 11 o'clock this morning.
Just over an hour later, emergency crews were called to the scene of this crash. First responders are crediting the work of other drivers who stopped to help and mutual aid from surrounding towns. The Stratford County Regional Crash Team is investigating the cause.
And they had the scene for about 3 hours, and they'll be working diligently to put the reconstruction aspect of it together so we can know exactly what happened.
In all, there were 3 cars involved in this crash. Firefighters say multiple people suffered potentially life-threatening injuries. We're live in Barrington tonight. Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Former prosecutor dies after being hit by crowbar while driving. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
Check this out. One room of beautiful North American hardwood flooring installed for just $9.99. That's right, and this isn't just any hardwood. This is genuine Armstrong hardwood, the most trusted name in flooring. Call National Floors Direct at 888-400-FLOOR.
Wonderful, dedicated lawyer, dedicated family man.
John Medallo was dedicated to his family and his profession. Just minutes after leaving court this morning, police say a crowbar pierced through his windshield, striking his head and sending the 63-year-old's car careening off Route 9 through a parking lot and down a steep embankment.
He must have been airborne, and it took out the trees, like 3/4 of the way down.
Neighbors at the Crestview condominium saw police rush to try to help him.
It was very urgent, because he knew somebody was hurt pretty bad.
Police say Medallo had no time to react around 10 this morning when that crowbar either fell off another car on Route 9 or was kicked up off the road.
When I was sitting and talking with him this morning, he was mentioning how much he enjoyed his daughter's wedding shower this past weekend and looking forward to her wedding next month.
Fellow lawyers are devastated. Medallo was a prosecutor in the Worcester District Attorney's Office for more than 15 years, but more recently was in private practice, at times working on high-profile criminal cases. Tonight, his family and colleagues are struggling to cope with the loss.
There's no words to speak of this terrible, terrible tragedy.
And this really was such a freak crash today that investigators are now looking for help from the public, asking anyone who may have seen this crash to please come forward.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Police ID woman's body found in car trunk in Gardner. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Organized all year long with a Shed. Shed Happens is Maine's leading manufacturer and retailer.
Yeah, Roger, we're going back to that breaking news that we've been following in the WMTW newsroom. We told you about it first at 4. Authorities in Massachusetts have identified the woman found dead in the trunk of a car in Gardner. The Worcester DA's office says 28-year-old Madeline Burgess died from blunt force injuries. She was found in the trunk of a car last week. Girth Rutan was pulled over by police in Gardner for driving erratically. Once police pulled him over, police say he took his own life. Rutan was from Sturbridge, Massachusetts, and believe Burgess was killed there. Police do continue to investigate. Any more updates during the newscast, we'll bring them to you. Tracy?
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Bitcoin dips below 6,000 and cryptocurrency sell-off. Bitcoin fell below 6,000 late Monday for the first time since June against a backdrop of cryptocurrency decline in value. Golden State Killer suspect was caught during alleged murder of professor. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Plans like you mix and match your flavors so you get what you want without paying for things you don't.
Number 6?
I know. Where do I put it? In my belly.
One family, different unlimited plans, starting at $40 per line on the network you deserve.
I have instructed my staff to file first-degree murder charges against Joseph D'Angelo for the 1975 murder of Mr. Claude Snelling. And in doing so, I hope that we can take what is really our first step in not only holding him accountable for the crime here in Visalia, but really providing justice not only to the victim's family, but to a community at whole. And I say that because going back from the spring of 1974, this community was terrorized by these rampant crimes in their tenacity, their intimate nature, and the frequency in which they were occurring. These crimes culminated, if you will, in the fall and the winter of 1975 with the tragic murder of Mr. Snelling. And, as Chief Salazar mentioned, as abruptly as they started soon after in the winter of 1975, they abruptly ended here in Visalia. Now, we tragically know they continued elsewhere in the state.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that did it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.